Hello there. This is Kim Claver, and this is a short video. If you need more customers right now, and if you're sick of talking to the wrong people for your business, check this out. I've been asked to make this so many times I decided finally I'm going to do it right now. I fixed one really big mistake that I made first time I ever did the network marketing business. I want to show you what it is. And since then, I have fixed it now well enough that I can promise you this. If you want to talk in your business only to the people that are interested in buying, whether they're customers, whether they're reps, no matter what it is that you really have to market, if it's an educational program or if it's a product that requires some education or some explanation or some experimenting, something other than like a Madonna CD or something, if you want to talk to the people who are the ones that are already interested in buying, this is for you. You ready for this? For coaches, network marketers, affiliate marketers, all of that stuff. Most of us have spent most of our time talking to the wrong people. And once I figured out how to avoid this by using language, not a specific funnel, not a specific software, not a specific tech, this is totally not tech-based. It's about how to speak in such a way that the people who want what you have and already wanted the fix in the first place, how they come to you. And then you talk to those people. That'll save you a lot of hassle. Certainly did me. So the first time I ever did network marketing was almost 30 years ago. And I found out about it at a Taekwondo class. I'm a big fitness person. And so I saw this little thing. This guy had a little blue water filter. I was in commercial real estate. I was a fitness buff at the time. I still am a fitness buff. I was a fitness buff. I was a clean water fanatic. I saw this little blue water filter at this Taekwondo event, this class that I was at. And it's this little thing, some of you, if you've been around for a while, you know what this is. You take this thing apart and you can filter water at restaurants and wherever you go where people don't have filtered water. Now, of course, today, most everybody has filtered water, but back then, it was $1 a gallon for these big gallons that you'd put in trucks, and Alhambra would come and, the Arrow would come. Or you would bring these big gallons up the stairs to your house, to your apartment, wherever you lived, so you could have clean water or filters, under the sink. So it's much more common now than it was then. But anyway, I saw this little thing and I loved it because I was at the event and it was also a class. And I already had like 3 bottles of water with me, the plastic bottles. And I didn't want to carry those anymore. So I thought, if this little thing works, and I tasted the water right away, I liked the water. I thought, oh, this is pretty good. It's as good as the stuff in the bottles, and it wasn't in plastic. I figured, you know what? I'm going to have this, and I bet you I can sell it to people. Because I was already a crazy clean water person. So that's the story of how I came onto the product. And a couple of months later, I had sold about, $60,000 worth of these things to different customers. I sold the shower filters, the whole house units. I was really into clean water. I was in the real estate business. And so I had a little script that I used at the end of my conversations like, hey, can I ask you a question that has to do with your water? And I'll give you that at another time, but I'm going to show you what happened with this. So I sold so much of this stuff that the company asked me to speak at the national convention. Now, I had never done network marketing. I was in the real estate leasing business and sales business. That's what we did, commercial. And $60,000 is a lot of water filters to sell, because it's a relatively small ticket item, like a couple $100. And compared to the real estate we were doing, they were very small tickets. So you had to sell a lot of those, whereas I could maybe lease up a whole building with 30, 40, 50,000 square feet and make, that much in a single transaction. But the company asked me to speak because they said, we never had anybody sell anything so fast and so much when you didn't do any recruiting. And again, I was in the real estate business and we did recruiting, but we didn't get paid. The focus was not on the recruiting. It was on leasing the properties. That was the focus. So they asked me to speak. I did. I told people what I did. And they were kind of like, well, how did you do that? And then my sponsor, who was the number 1 guy in the company, 2 up from me, he comes up and he says, Kim, it's really great what you did. You inspired everybody to market the product, sell the product, but you need to recruit people. You need to recruit people like you. And I thought, well, I suppose I could do that. And he said, the big money is in the recruiting. Remember, 29, 30 years ago. Some of you probably still hear that right now. The big money's in the recruiting. And there's some truth to it in the sense that if you bring on a recruit and they pay they buy $5,000 worth of product, which is what we did with the water filter business, then you might make $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. And that's a relatively big chunk of money versus selling, say, a single undersink water filter for $100 and you make $20. So we all can see the difference. It's the size of the initial order. Okay, so that's where the big money is. So I said, okay, I think I could probably do that because I had already recruited real estate agents. I was a real estate broker in the Bay Area, so I had recruited agents. So I kind of got the concept of find people, train people, and then get a piece of the action that they do, right? That's kind of how it works. I mean, if any of you that know real estate, there are agents and there are brokers, and whoever is the broker person has agents, and you might be an agent. And then if you make a deal, you sell a house or a property, you get a piece of it and you share it with the house, whoever is the brokerage house that you work for if you're an agent, right? Or you split it if you have another brokerage house involved. So you all probably kind of understand that. So what I did is I took his advice and I brought in about 32 reps over the next 6 or 8 weeks. I ran ads. We had newspapers going in those days, ads and phones. Ads and phones, what we did. And most of the people at that time bought the water filter package that I was selling, which was about $5,000. And I think they had 20 filters or something like that in it. You bought a combination of undersink and shower and whatnot. So what happened is the company paid us $1,200 for every $5,000 order. So after a couple of months, I had 30 of those. The agents saw that, my new reps. And they said, we like that idea. $1,200 times 30 people was $35,000 that the company paid. And they wanted to do that too. So they all come and say, okay, would you show us what you did? Because we all came in, but now we want to do what you did. So I was like, okay, totally, I'll do it. So I planned this detailed training. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it because my background is teaching, right? I'm like a teacher person. And so I planned this detailed training. And on the day of the training, right, it's all set. I've got all my slides and everything is set. 6 people show up. 6. And I thought, well, what happened to the rest of you guys? And I don't know if you've ever experienced this kind of thing where people say, oh, yeah, I'm so excited. I want to do this. I want to make this work. And we're going to go to the moon with it. We're going to bring in all the people. We're going to make you rich, blah, blah, blah. And the next month they vanish. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but it's this is not a cool thing. So I did the training. Of course, what are you going to do? You do the training. And then I called my sponsor and said, listen, I just got to tell you that this is not exactly what I expected. All these people said they want this and 6 people show up out of 30 or so. And she said, oh, Kim, that's how the industry is. You didn't know. Oh, you poor thing. Most people quit. And she, I think, was the second top earner in the company. That's what she said. And I thought, well, then I don't want to be part of that industry. I'm not a quitter. I don't want to get people into a business and then they're all going to quit. What kind of thing is that? I do the thing once I make a commitment. And so I told her, if that's what they do, I'm going to quit myself. If the whole idea of this industry is you sign up and then you quit, if that's what people do, then I don't want to do it either because I'm not one of those people. And I don't want to, right? I want to do that. I have a real estate business and we've never had people quit like this. It's, I had it for a couple of years and most of the agents that I had were still there. I don't even know that anybody quit. And they were agents working just like reps in this industry. You don't make any money till you make a deal. We didn't pay draws. So, everybody was working for free until they make a transaction. They sell they lease a space or they buy or lease a building, whatever we're doing. So she says, well, would you try something before you quit? So, well, I don't know, maybe, what? And she says, well, since your real estate agents are like reps, as I just said, there's no pay until you bring in business orders where money changes hands and they get some and you get some. And that's what a business is, right? Doing things for customers that they like so much that they pay you for it. That's the deal. So she says, since they were only paid when they produce results, which is bring in business, right? Make sales. Why don't you recruit your water filter reps the way you did the real estate reps? And I thought, well, okay, I could do that. I mean, why not, right? See if I could do that. And so I thought, how had I recruited these 15, I had 12 or 15 real estate agents at the time. And I thought, how did I actually recruit them? Because almost everybody was still there after the first year or two. That's right, the second year in. Everybody was still there. So I checked my offers, what I did to bring them in. That's called an offer. If you do this, I'll give you that, right? If you, clean your room, I'll give you $50. That's an offer. And when you make an offer, you put something out there. If you want to grow 3-foot wide tomatoes, read this. If you want 5 radios for the price of one, go to Eddie's. Or those are offers. If you want to become a 6-figure advisor, watch this video and see if it's for you, like I'm going to show you at the end here. So I checked my offers. What had I offered to give for them to come, right? In the ads that I had. And I want to show you what that is, because it really was an eye-opener. When she asked me to compare, I was dumbfounded at the difference. And I'm going to tell you that right now. So I had said, talk to people. I was on the phone a lot. I ran newspaper ads. And for the water filter reps, I used an ad that the top earner had suggested that he was using, and he was making a lot of money with it. The ad said, $10,000 a month. Need help. Health field. No experience necessary. Will train. Okay, let me try to show you this again. So $10,000 a month. Need help. Health field. No experience necessary. Will train. Call 800. That was the ad that they gave us. And we were flooded with calls, and a lot of people signed up. That first batch, that's who came in. So that was the first group that I got in. That was the ad. And the 6 showed up for the training that they had requested. So then I checked my real estate rep ads, because I had run those in the same newspapers. And here is what those ads said. Now, you want to be awake for this. Stay awake for this. Stay sober for this part. The ad said, seeking top commercial leasing agent. Now, what do you notice with this? It's singular, and it's looking for a person described as a top commercial leasing agent. So the qualifications, the quality of the person is what's first. Okay, just make a note of this. Then I wrote all this stuff because this is what I wanted. See, must know and love the city, financial district, be familiar with the back alleys, know where the hidden locations are, love showing clients the new spots, making them the best deals, send your resume and tell why you're the best person for this job, for this position. That is what I wrote. We expanded into a number of different cities with our real estate business, and these are the ads basically that we wrote. Okay. Compare that to $10,000 a month, need help, health field, no experience necessary, will train. Do you see the difference between that and seeking top commercial leasing agent in terms of what we're doing here? Does everybody see that? Say yes. Okay, you got that? Okay, good. Because if I ask for somebody who must know and love the city, love the financial district, be familiar with the back alleys, know where the hidden locations are, all of which I was part of this, description, love showing clients new spots, love making them the best deals, that's a kind of a different thing. Now, I want you to know why I asked for all these requirements. And there's only one reason. Why do we have all these requirements? Why did I put all this stuff in there? Because that is who we wanted. Why? They could help us grow our business faster. I wouldn't have to train them from the get-go if they knew the city, knew the spaces, and loved making deals. They just needed to figure out where the clients were, and we had a really special way of finding buyers. Everybody from, McDonald's, the fast food franchises, Metropolitan Life, major companies that we knew how to get interested in having us show them properties. And that was my secret sauce. But they needed to know where the places were, see? So that's what we did. So I decided to change the water filter rep ads. Instead of saying, big money, no requirements, no skills necessary, no experience, I'll show you what to do, which drew people. But they weren't necessarily the ones who did much, as we discovered, right? So we ran 8 or 10 different ads, and they were based for the water filter reps that I was looking for the water filter business, right? And they were versions of this. The header was key person wanted. A version of this. We ran quite a few different ones, but key person wanted. Leader wanted. Top, producer wanted. But key person was my favorite one. Key person wanted. Now compare that to 10,000 a month, no experience. You see who it is, who's going to identify with that first one versus identify with this one. And we're looking to grow our business as fast as we can. So we want to run out the door with the most experienced, qualified people who love the work that they're doing. Now, the body of the ad, if you compare, this one we had National Marketing Group expanding in the, whatever it is, Houston area, expanding in the Philadelphia area, expanding in the Los Angeles area. And then we had looking for someone who has owned or operated a business. Why did I want that? I don't want somebody. We're looking to build fast. So we wrote this. Now you can do whatever you want. I'm telling you what we changed. Looking for somebody who has owned or operated a business, because I had done that, who loves and has experience in marketing, and who loves teaching and public speaking. Send fax or fax resume. We still had faxes in those days, and telling why you would be good at this, why you'd be our best hire too, and then we gave the number. Okay. So this is what we're looking for, all these things. And my sponsor immediately said, I sent it to her, faxed it to her, and said, we're thinking about running this. And she said, don't run that because nobody will come. Nobody wants to really teach, and public speaking, people would rather be dead than public speak. Jerry Seinfeld has a joke about that. He said at the funeral, there are people who have to give the eulogy, give a little talk about the person that has passed, and they say, I'd almost rather be in the casket than have to give the talk. So that's how afraid people are. But what I told her was, well, if I only get 3 people, at least all of them will enjoy teaching and public speaking, and then we don't have to spend 6 months getting the confidence up to speak, to talk to people, right? Because we want people in front of the room. Today it's on Zoom. But in those days, it was all live at events, whether they were big auditoriums or at schools or high school places, settings, or bookstores or community centers or hotel rooms, or at the universities. We were really big on doing events at the universities and the conference rooms. We did them all over the country, really all over the world. But we wanted people who already had those skills. So we ended up getting fewer resumes. But the people were ready to go out of the box. We didn't have to say, all right, now get your confidence up and go ahead and say these words. They were fewer, but they were ready to go. Do you see the difference? I'm sure you do. This is not anything that's rocket science. It's just we didn't think of it. And they didn't either, and they still don't think of it, but we do. So who is the post? Now you could do an ad, a post, you can do DM, you can do email, and you can do all this stuff. Who is what you're asking for attracting? Anyone. Here's how to make 10 grand a month. No experience, we'll train. Is that who you want on your team if you want to go fast? You see, if you want to build fast. Second, whatever you're putting out there, when you talk to people or run ads or do posting, what do they expect they have to do to get results? How many people have seen ads like, or posts, we'll do the building for you. We'll do this for you. You don't have to do anything except put in the money. So if it's easy, anyone can do it. All you have to do is talk to your friends. Right. But you're not talking to friends about husbands and hemorrhoids. No. You're talking to friends, trying to separate them from their money. This is when you don't let the friends know this, they feel like they were ambushed. And when you make friends because you really just want to hit them up later to join the business or buy the product or come to an event, how are they going to feel that that's really why you hit them up? And how does it feel doing that? A lot of people need friends. And if they feel like you're really befriending them because you're interested and you're really not, and it's a giant drudge because what you're really into is your agenda is to try to find people for your business, you're better to be upfront about it and just tell them what you want. We have found that. Maybe if I have time at the end, I'll show you how we do that. So the key is, whatever you say to people, whether it's DM or posting or on the phone or ads or wherever you are, however you're presenting what it is that you want for your business, be aware that they will have certain expectations about what it is required of them to help themselves succeed and you succeed, right? So that's why we did that. And is that somebody you want on your team right now? Now, some of you are going to say, because I've heard this so many times, well, Kim, what about beginners? You had to begin somewhere. And, everybody has to begin somewhere. And they do. They do. I began too. We all do. But it's the order of things. If you want to build a business that grows really fast, and in 90 days or 120 days, you have 30, 40, 50 people that are automatically monthly ordering, and 2 or 3 of them are actually bringing in people, you could have a little business making a couple, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month in 90 days. But if you start with beginners who don't know how to talk to people, have never sold, have never marketed, don't even know the difference, and say, well, I don't know how to sell, it's going to take you a way longer time. So the order of things is, if you want to grow fast, ask for people first who can go fast to help you get there. That's really what it is. And how are you going to do that? Well, like the real estate ad that I gave you, people who love the city, know the hooks and crannies for network marketing, a key person who's owned their own business before, who loves marketing and sales, and loves in whatever the field is, health, alternative health, or learning how to do internet marketing. Whatever it is that your thing is, the benefit of it, that is what you're talking about. Nobody buys our product. They buy what it's going to do for them, right? So if you have a product that's, I don't know, say CBD oil, and you say, I've got the greatest CBD oil, we'll sell you totally outsell you without ever mentioning the product. Why? Because you could say, if you want your sex life back, read this. Oh, okay, I want to know what that is. And 50 heads turn. Yeah, I want my sex life back. I'd like to get my sexy back. How do you do that? They don't even know what you have as a product. You're selling the thing that somebody might want. And once you figure that out, that's a very different cup of tea. They almost don't care what the product is, so long as it doesn't go against their religion or it's not illegal, right? They want the benefit of the thing, not the product. But the key for this is, if you want to build a business of customers or reps or both, ask for the people who can go fast to get you there, and they will not be beginners. Do you see what I mean? So once you get some money in the door and you get some cash flow, then you can work with the beginners. Remember, if you're recruiting for a local football team or softball team or baseball team or swimming or ballet, right? You're ballerinas, you're starting a team. Who do you ask for first? You think about this. Do you want beginning people or do you want experienced people? If you want to build a team that's going to be good, right? Now you can have a baby team, but if you're going to have, this is the San Francisco football team and we're going to play against, I don't know, San Diego, who do you want? Beginners or experienced people? Do you want people who already love the game that we're doing, like marketing? Or do you still have to sell them on, we don't do sales. No, we really just share. No, you're in business. There's one reason you're in business, and that is you have some product or skill or service that you're really good at and want to get really, really good at. And you offer it to people in a way that's different than other alternatives. And you make a living, a very big one, doing it. That's what you do, right? So if you have to sell somebody on being a marketer and marketing products, it's going to slow you down and it'll be years before you build a business. So ask for people who already have those skills. That's what we did. And once you have cash flow coming in, because if you have 10 people and all the customers are buying every month and 2 or 3 are bringing in new people, you're going to do volume. What does that mean? You're going to be making some money right away. Then you have time, to start doing the part where you talk about, well, now that I have some money, that the experienced people are coming in, you can start up people that are babies to business and let them learn without you having to wait for your income to help people who often aren't even sold on doing the business in the first place. So that's what we learned. So your choice is to go fast or to go slow. And that's really what we're talking about here. Does that make sense? To grow fast, you ask for people who can help you bring in business fast. What is bringing in business? Bringing in people who will place orders for the product, whether they're big ones like reps who come in and buy maybe wholesale so they can have some samples for retail, and regular monthly customers. And if you want to grow fast, you want to find people who are missionary-like, who love spreading the word, people who want to start movements. That's what we do. I have built 6 of these things. We're doing another experimental team right now. And in every one of them, starting with the water business, it was my goal to make a movement out of it and get the product to as many people as possible who might not know about the caca water coming out of their faucet. If you didn't know, why would you filter? And if you're spending a couple $1,000 a month on facial products like La Mer, or even just a couple $100 a month on any skincare product, if you're standing there every day in the shower getting yourself bleached, that's like cuckoo. You're wrecking your skin with the stuff that comes out of the faucet and out of the shower. So we were really big on doing that, and that's why these businesses grow fast, because you're like a movement creator. And those are the people we're looking for sure. So we brought in our people who cared about the change the product and business could make, because that's who we asked for, right? Instead of people looking for something part-time, because part-time is usually weaner income. Why? Because building a business is hard. It takes time in the beginning, particularly in the first few years. Most of the people in our industry that have made big money have been in it 10 or 20 years. Once in a while you get somebody who, so like the lottery. You want to place your bets on the lottery that maybe you're going to stumble across somebody who's going to be a big player? Maybe. Not me. We want to know what we know can bring in $10,000 a month, no matter what you're marketing, provided it's you make more than $10 per order, right? Because of course in our industry we make $10 several levels deep. In the affiliate marketing you make a couple $100 or $1,000 one level deep. So it's just a question of the structure of the business. If you know what the pay plan is, you work it so that you maximize the money that you earn in the least amount of time and with the fewest people possible. That's what we do. So we ended up bringing in our people doing this. We ran events at universities. All the opportunity meetings that we ran were at universities. If I were to do them today, I would run them at universities again. Now we do everything on Zoom. We do it on Zoom, but in this particular water filter business, one of the deals we did is when we changed the ads to what I just showed you, we ended up with, maybe 13 frontline people or so that we pulled in the first couple of months. And of those, we ended up with 3 and folded everybody under the others. And then we ended up, I think, in the first 13 months with 13,000 people in that business. And that's one of the companies we went to the top. And went to the top with faster than just about anyone else in the history of that company. And the principle of this that we're following is, some of you know about the Bible, and you don't have to believe this or not, but it's a pretty good book, and there's some really good examples in there, as many of you know. And Jesus said, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." And I'm here to tell you that you have sheep that would hear your voice if you would just call them. And it's not everyone. It's not anyone who can fog a mirror. That is not your sheep, is it? Right? And that's really how we realized that we need to create a different model, a different paradigm. Instead of anyone can do this, everyone can do this, all you have to do is blah, blah, blah. We want to call our sheep so that they know us and we know them and they follow us and we create movements. That's really what we're doing here. That link, I'm going to show you that in a second. That's how we realized, really, that like in real estate and commercial leasing, it was not looking for just anybody. No, it's not anyone. It can be anyone who does it, but that's different than anyone can do it. Because if they could, why do we have a 95% dropout rate? I just ask the Direct Selling Association. That's what it is. Okay? So it's not everyone who could fog a mirror. Did any of you hear that? Oh, I know that's so old, but I'm telling you. So we learned that we could think and be different. And this is one of the areas where we diverge completely with the industry of network marketing. We believe that we can think and that we can be different, and that we should be different if what we're being taught to do is not working for us. So you need to be brave to pursue an approach like the one I'm going to suggest to you here. You do not have to be a clone. You do not have to be a copycat in terms of how you do stuff, the words you use, the way you smile, where you go, what you do, when those things don't work for you. If they give you lame copy script to put in DM like, oh, Lulu, how are you? Oh, what are you doing now with the, the pandemic? And hello, how many of you have got totally shut down? You do that too many times. You don't have to do that, especially when it doesn't work. Don't keep doing it. We are made, again, to pull from the Bible, but don't get hung up on it. Just get the principle. If we're made in God's image, then what is God first and foremost? He created the earth. That's what the book says, right? Whether you believe it or not, just get the story. The first thing in that story was he or she created the earth. He didn't make a bunch of clones. So my belief is that when the things that they're teaching you are not working for you, you can quit, of course. The other option is to do what we did, which is, okay, thank God for the upline who said, Kim, you don't quit yet. Do what you can do to bring in people for your water filter business, just like you did for the real estate agents. Why don't you do that? And I changed completely the approach. We looked for people that they told us, our upline said, you'll never get anybody. But we tried it anyway. What did we do? We transcended our industry. We did something beyond it. This is how we move things ahead, like Elon Musk, like Steve Jobs. Don't be afraid to be different. Try different approaches. Try using different words if it follows your heart so you can be authentic. Don't make friends with people just to sell them. Tell them up front. Hey, you want to have a chat? Let me tell you why I'm calling. I got this business. We're looking for people like this. If you're interested, I'll give you a little spiel. Otherwise, I'll buy you lunch or buy you coffee and we can just chat. How's that? Just tell them. Like, it's totally fine. But you think about Steve Jobs. He transcended the phone industry. You think about Elon Musk. He transcended the electric car industry. You are a creator, and you are made as a creator. And if that's who you are, then you have to really decide. Are you going to continue to be a copycat and just clone and say what they tell you and do what they say when it doesn't work? Or do you want to be a creator? Where you can try stuff, do stuff, and ask for the people that will help you build the business the fastest and get the good news and the good products and the good business model out to more people faster. Right? You get to decide this. I'm a creator. Are you a creator? So I have a little video. It's about, I don't know, maybe 17 or 18 minutes. If you would like to see it, go to newwaymlm.com. So NEWWAYM like mommy, LM.com. And what will happen is you'll see a page like this, the New Way Network Marketing. This is a totally new paradigm. It's very different. And if you are a creator and you dare to be different because what you're doing isn't working, and you know the model works because it does, and you know that whatever you're marketing, you're totally behind it, the business model or whatever the product does. And if you could find people who have the commitment that you do for making the world a better place with your product and your business, go here. And the link is newwaymlm.com. You'll see what you see right here. Watch that little video. And if you don't want to watch the video, then what you can do is at the bottom, see where it says, I want this now? Just click on it and you'll come to the order page. You'll see a little order page and you can get into an entry-level program. Some of you know that I've been around for, almost 30 years. And we have products that are $24,000, $36,000 for, longer-term coaching programs. We also have products for $5. And this is one that's, still under $1,000. And it shows you really exactly how you can become the person that we're talking about so that the people that are your people hear your voice. And if you'd like to see how that works before you, do anything or buy anything, click on the link there, newwaymlm.com, and you'll be able to see how we actually do this. And we have different offers running on it. The sooner people buy it, the bigger the discount is. There's a little special discount for it. So go ahead and check it out, and you will see whether or not a new way of doing the business that gets you the people that you are looking for, that share your point of view, that want to be part of a movement that you want to lead or co-lead with other people. See if that works for you. And I'm here to tell you that all 6 companies we've built with this approach that I showed you, where we compared the ads that we ran for calling anybody who want to make a whole lot of money, no experience necessary, versus writing down what we wanted. We got to the top of all the companies we were ever in almost faster than anyone in the history of those companies, all of them. So that's how you go fast, okay? All right, so that's the end. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Jesus did it. You can do it too. We're doing it. And the people that are movement makers in this world, they look to make this verse happen. And the way to do that is right here in this video, thenewwaymlm.com. It'll show you how to do it. All right, that's it. That's what I've got for you. This is Kim Claver, and if you are interested in going from a copycat to becoming a creator, go right here and check out this video and see. Maybe I'll see you in one of our classes. All right, you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.